Do you support the Massey counter resolution? Yes or no?
We're already doing it. And let me say,
it's a
Mr. No,
simple
the
yes or no
discharge
answer.
petition does not have the force of law. We've already subpoenaed.
You can begin
And
by
look,
saying no, and I'll let you.
No,
you can
look,
answer, or
Mr.
yes,
McGovern, it's very
and you can answer.
disappointing that you're trying to politicize this.
No, it's a yes or no question. It's not a trick question. I mean, do you think...
We've already done what
do
the
you think
discharge
resolution-
petition's
Do
asking.
you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become
The
law?
bill,
which
the
would
bill
be-
has
excuse me,
no
I'm
force of
speaking.
law.
I have
It has
I
no
have time.
force of the law.
Yeah.
You're just
No,
trying to do
we're
a
talking
political
about-
stunt.
I got to tell you, I think what's going on here today is the Republicans are terrified, and you know, and I think we all know why, and that is because the president doesn't want to release all the files. I mean, after promising that he would release them during the campaign, then he issued, that was in 2024, and then 2025 he says it's all a big hoax. It's perpetrated by Democrats and some stupid Republicans. That's his quote verbatim. So when you say all Republicans want this stuff released, I don't think that guy does.
That's right.
And what you're telling us that you're going to release some of the files tonight, if I heard Mr. Garcia correctly, 97% of which is already out in public. So we get 3% that's new. I don't know what it's going to say. But I just don't understand what the big deal is. Why can't the administration just release the files? You can do the investigation, but just release all the files. So, you know, all that has to happen for the files to be released is one thing. The Trump administration needs to release them. That is all. And if that's too complicated for some Republicans to get their arms around, that's okay, because they're in luck. Someone has already done the work for them, because there is a bipartisan bill offered by Mr. Massey and Mr. Comer that would force the administration to release the Epstein files while protecting the victims. And Mr. Comer, I just for the record, I think you're not in support of the Massey counter bill, but let me ask you formally, I mean, do you support the Massey counter bill to release the Epstein files?
We're doing that as we speak. And you said some of the documents were going to be released. All 34,000 documents will be online, hopefully in the next 5 minutes, if they're not now.
Yeah, but 97% of which we've already seen. Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, I just want to add, I mean, first, appreciate the comments, but we should be clear. I mean, if it's true, as the chairman said, that every Republican supports disclosure around the Epstein files, then every Republican should sign the discharge petition from Congressman Comer and Congressman Massey. There's no question. And the key difference in that petition as well is that petition ensures, one, that members of Congress are all on the record on releasing the files, and two, that petition, as you have in front of you, also ensures that the files actually go to the American public, that they're actually released to the public. I appreciate that the subpoena that we forced a vote on is going to our committee, and it's important work. Most of the documents that were sent to our committee, those initial documents were given to right-wing influencers back in February. The files and the full report, according to the Attorney General, were sitting on her desk ready to be released. We know that the Attorney General herself has shared with the President directly that he is also in the files. The reason, and we don't understand why this cover-up by the President continues to not release the full files. And so the discharge petition is an important additional step forward for the Congress, the full Congress, to be on record to release the full files. And so that piece is important. And it's clear that, well, maybe there are some Republicans in Congress, and hopefully all, that want to see disclosure. That is not the case with the Republicans in the White House and the Department of Justice.
So 7 months to get released, 97% of which already been released. But again, Mr. Comer, I mean, do you support the Massey counter resolution? Yes or no?
We're already doing it. And let me say,
it's a
Mr.
simple
No, the
yes or no
discharge
answer.
petition does not have the force of law. We've already subpoenaed.
You can begin
And
by
look,
saying no, and I'll let you.
No,
and you
look,
can answer,
Mr.
or
McGovern,
yes,
it's very
and you can answer.
disappointing that you're trying to politicize this. We're trying to get answers.
Let me
We're
reclaim
trying
my
to do
time.
everything that's in this discharge petition,
I'm gonna-
but you're trying to politicize
No,
it.
It's a yes or no question. It's not a trick question. I mean, do you think...
We've already done what the discharge petition's
Do
asking.
you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become
The
law?
bill has no force of law. It has no
time.
force of the law.
Yeah.
You're just
No,
trying to do
we're
a
talking
political
about-
stunt.
Look, ask the question, Mr. McGovern, let him answer.
Well, I was asking a question, he interrupted me.
Okay, let.
It's a simple yes or no question. Simple yes or no question. Do you
We're
support-
already doing it.
All right, well, that's not a yes or no, but do you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become law, which would require the release of all the files?
It doesn't have the force of the law. It's just a political stunt. It's just a political stunt, and you know.
This is a resolution. The Connor is a Massey Connor bill would become law. If all you Republicans want everything released, then, you know, you could vote for it, and then if he decides to veto it, you could override the veto.
The subpoena goes further than the discharge petition. Discharge petition is just a political stunt. Just a political stunt.
All right, so you're,
And look, we have done everything bipartisan in this investigation. This is an opportunity. And I think most of the Democrats on the Oversight Committee want to be bipartisan in this, Mr. McGovern.
so you're not going to answer my question, but look, we're meeting here under an emergency procedure to consider this resolution, which, if I'm reading it right, simply tells your committee to continue doing what you're doing. Do you need this resolution to continue doing what you're doing, Mr. Garcia? I mean...
The resolution as presented is not necessary. Again, we want disclosure, we want the files released, but what should have happened is we should vote on the discharge petition and move it forward and then continue our work. Can I say one more thing, Mr. Ranking Member? I also want to be clear that the DOJ has not been forthcoming or presented everything that we've asked for in the subpoena. And I think it's important that even in our recent interaction with the DOJ, they're essentially now not giving us any new additional information as to when we're receiving the rest of the files. And so having Congress act and taking a vote on the full release of the files is an important additional step, which is why the discharge petition is important. And the resolution should not somehow take precedent or discourage members from somehow signing the discharge petition.
So help me understand what we're considering right now. Does this resolution grant you any new authority?
No.
I think the resolution will send a signal if we end up in court. If, as the victim stated today, there's some of the most powerful and some of the richest names in the world were involved in a cover-up, we're going to end up in court. And I think the resolution will demonstrate that Congress is working in a bipartisan manner, not trying to be partisan, to get the truth to the American people and hold people accountable.
Yeah, why don't we do both? I mean, Mr. Massey, last time I checked, is a Republican. Other Republicans will sign that. I mean, why can't we do both?
I think we can. I think.
Excuse me, Mr. McGovern, would the gentleman yield a moment?
Yes.
We can. We certainly can do
Okay,
both.
well, let's do-
We'll pass this resolution here, and then if sufficient people sign the discharge petition, then it will come out. And it's my understanding there is a significant difference in the resolution that we have here and the Massey resolution, and that is this resolution demands disclosure, whereas the Massey resolution does not. So I think we can do both, and let that happen. That we want to show that we want this done in a very important way.
Well, if we can do both, then why is the Rules Committee standing in the way of allowing, I'm going to have a vote on the Massey counter resolution. Well, why would Republicans of the Rules Committee block us from just bringing it to the floor? We could vote on both.
Because they've already started the discharge petition.
Well, that doesn't,
They've already started it.
Yeah, well, that's a nice, well, that's, whatever, that's, I don't even want to say what I'm thinking about that answer, but let me just ask, this is a yes or no question. Does the administration have the power to release the Epstein files with appropriate redactions to protect the victims and the survivors? Do they have the authority to do that?
I think so, with the subpoena.
Yes.
All right, they do, so, but they're not. And, Mr. Comer, this resolution that is before us right now says that you're investigating mismanagement that led to Mr. Epstein's death.
Mm-hmm.
who was the President of the United States when Mr. Epstein died in custody?
It would have, I would assume it would have been Trump.
Yeah. And I have another, just one last question. You referred to Ghislaine Maxwell as a terrible individual. And I guess the question is, maybe you can enlighten us, what have you done to investigate why Ms. Maxwell was moved to a minimum security facility? I mean, she's a convicted child predator, sent to prison. She testifies before some people, the administration, she didn't testify, she answers questions that are put forward by somebody in this administration. She basically says the president didn't do anything wrong, and then all of a sudden is moved to a minimum security facility. Are you going to do, have you done a hearing on that? Are you doing a hearing on that?
We've subpoenaed Ms. Maxwell. She sent a letter via her attorneys and said that she requested that we wait for the deposition until after the Supreme Court rules on her appeal. We're hoping that's this month. So as soon as the Supreme Court rules on her appeal, we'll go in and do a formal deposition. So Mr. Garcia will be there. I'll be there if he wants to be there.
I'm not into
And those questions can be asked. Those are legitimate questions.
Well, but I don't think Ms. Maxwell can answer those questions. I mean, I listened to some of her interview, and it sounded like there was no cross-examination. I'm just curious why, after she said what she said, was she moved? So it's not about Ms. Maxwell, it's about somebody made the decision to move her, which I don't think was expected.